Brave Girls Bible Stories. This is about Shiphrah, Puah, Jochebed, and Miriam, the Fantastic Four, from Exodus chapters 1 and 2. The verse is Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. I tell you the truth, if your faith is as big as a mustard seed, you can say from this to this mountain, move from here to there, and the mountain will move. All things will be possible for you. Moses is one of the most famous Bible guys ever. It's not every day that a baby gets put in a basket to float on a river straight into the arms of an unsuspecting princess and then gets to grow up in an Egyptian palace or is spoken to by God through a burning bush. And that's just the beginning of an amazing story. But what many people don't notice, at least not right away, are all the supporting stars in Moses' sensational story. That baby didn't get into the basket by accident. No, it was a part of a plan God was working out through the lives of 4 faith-filled women. So naturally I want to fill you in on how the bravery of these girls of God saved not only the little boy from certain death, but also an entire nation of Israel in the long run. I'll start by painting a picture for you of just how bad things had gotten in Egypt. Imagine a very angry Pharaoh. That's one of those Egyptian kings who looks like King Tut. You might have seen them in books. He had just gotten word to that the Israelite crowd in his kingdom was growing even bigger, and he wanted them stopped. Look, he cried, there are too many Israelites, and they are too strong for us to handle. We must make plans against them. So the Pharaoh started thinking of ways to control the unwanted Israelites, mean ways. What could he do? Well, he could make life for the Israelites miserable, so that's exactly what he did. He ordered the Egyptians to treat God's people harshly by beating them and giving them more work than they could possibly finish. He hoped it would make them so tired and frustrated that they'd stop having so many babies and growing more powerful. But Pharaoh's plan backfired. God made his people multiply even faster, and Pharaoh got madder than ever, so he commanded 2 women to come before his throne. Their names were Shiphrah and Puah, and they were the midwives who helped the Hebrew babies to be born. I picture Pharaoh looking at Shiphrah and Puah with his eyebrows down and a scowl on his face. When you are helping the Hebrew women to give birth to their babies, watch. It was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Then came the horrible command. If the baby is a girl, let the baby live, but if it is a boy, kill it. Gasp. Can you imagine? What kind of terrible person would order such a thing? Pharaoh, that's who. And he was powerful enough to make it happen. If Shiphrah and Puah didn't obey, they could be killed. But these brave women of God didn't blink an eye. Shiphrah and Puah marched out to the Pharaoh's palace and went right on helping the Hebrew women have their babies, boys and girls alike. In fact, God was good to them. He gave them families of their own and blessed their work. They were probably at the home of a woman named Jochebed when she gave birth to Moses, a beautiful, healthy Hebrew boy. I'm sure it was a very happy moment, but all the women must have known they were in danger for disobeying Pharaoh's orders. They had let baby Moses live, but he was still in danger too. For 3 months, Mama Jochebed hid the baby Moses from the Egyptian soldiers who would have killed him. But babies do grow, and she couldn't hide him forever. What on earth was she going to do? The rule was that every baby boy was supposed to be thrown into the Nile River, so Jochebed decided to obey. But with one twist, she covered the basket with tar so that the baby would float and no water could get inside. Then she gently put baby Moses inside the basket and set the basket in the tall grass of the Nile River. Moses' sister Miriam watched quietly from a distance. I wonder what's going to happen, she thought. Soon Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, came to the river to bathe. It didn't take long for her to spot the basket floating nearby, so she summoned a servant to fetch it for her. She opened the basket and exclaimed, "This is one of the Hebrew babies." I bet his sad cries were already melting her heart. Miriam decided that helping her baby brother was worth the risk of getting caught. She bravely approached the princess. "Would you like me to find a Hebrew woman to take care of the baby for you?" she asked, as if She'd have to look long and hard to find one. Yes, please, replied the princess. Immediately, Miriam ran to her mother Jochebed and brought her to the princess. Take this baby and nurse him for me, the princess told Jochebed. I will pay you. Can you believe it? Moses' own mother not only got to keep her son alive and at home with her, but now she was going to get paid to do it. I wonder if God was laughing over all the fun ways he was working his miraculous plan for his people. Only he knew Moses would grow up being trained in the Pharaoh's palace so that he could return years later to save all the Hebrew people from Pharaoh's evil rule. Faith says, Shiphrah, Puah, and Jochebed and Miriam each took big risks to do the right thing. Whenever I am faced with impossible situations, I like to remember this group of God-honoring ladies. God knew what was going on in each of their lives and gave each lady exactly what she needed at just the right time. That's the kind of thing that always happens when you are trusting God to take care of you. These ladies' stories remind me that nothing is impossible with God because he has the power to do whatever he pleases. My job is to have faith that God will take care of me and to show my faith by obeying what he tells me to do. Lord, nothing is too hard for you. Please give me the faith I need to obey and follow you. Amen.